What up, crypto fam? Here with another Bitcoin video, taking a look at the markets. Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things where it just kind of chops around and eats everybody up on the weekend. I've got the little dog wants to be in on this video again. Subscribe if you like to see more of the dog. Give a follow for her. Her name's Lily. Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin chop behavior, which is kind of expected. If you follow the stream on Friday, I mentioned that I'd be watching Basic Attention Token because it had some volume at the time. If you did jump in on that, we got the just about the 10% that we wanted. We closed, I think, about 98 cents. I think I ended up taking out at 97 or something. But it was a 7% gain on that one, I think, is what I got at the end of the day. So I'll take it. I just keep adding up the small wins until Bitcoin decides to make a adult decision and choose a confirmation of a direction. I got a couple of news articles that may lean us in that direction. One is, I believe, Apple's announcing this week. There may be a meeting happening this week where Apple announces that they're going to start allowing crypto payments through Apple Pay themselves. So we'll look into that. That would be a very, very bullish thing that opens up our market to everybody that's holding an Apple device. You're talking a portion of the world. Wall Street, the banks are investing in crypto. They're building teams that are dedicated to get into the blockchain technology space, the crypto space, understand what the tech can do. That's extremely bullish because that's one way into Wall Street. And some 401k, if you want to throw some Bitcoin in your 401k, I have some news on that too. So let me know which articles impress you or which articles are most relevant to you that you'd like to see more of. But we'll just take a quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin closed on the weekly candle completely boring. It went up and tested this resistance level. It didn't hit resistance. It didn't make it down to the support level. So it's in chop territory. And as long as it stays in chop territory, it's dangerous to trade. I'll be waiting for a clear move to the upside or the downside before I really start getting in on this. Having that Apple news release this week may push us over 50K, and that's going to get a lot of people excited. So if you've been following the stream, you know that we anticipated the breakout a couple weeks ago before we broke out. We called for a scale back, cooling off of the market, correction towards the end of the week, and we ended up seeing that. So now we're kind of just in a waiting zone. If Apple does come out with big news, I think that hits the market strongly. I think we impulse up. I still hold my belief though that I think we're going to have another cooling off period during the Bitcoin conferences, which are at the end of next week, unless there's a whole mess of hidden news that hasn't been leaked as of yet that hits. It would take something pretty extraordinary to move the market. Other than that, I think we do have some cooling back, some retracement time when people are all in Miami celebrating, probably celebrating the longs that they had on Bitcoin and how well their position's doing, just for them to get pulled back while they're enjoying themselves partying it up in Miami. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. The Fear and Greed Index, we're sitting at 52. We did bump up some today because earlier part of today we did start to recover in the 47K area before we started dropping back down to lower 46. We're now in the 45, upper 45K area. So I think that's the reason for the move up in the Fear and Greed Index. I'm still hopeful we move a little bit more towards fear territory because that's usually when we see the larger moves. That said, Bitcoin's been waiting to do something for a while now, so it doesn't surprise me that the market gets amped up when we make an impulse move to the upside. It doesn't matter if it's long lived or not, that gets the community excited. So as far as alts, with it being Sunday night, I tend, unless something really jumps out at me, I tend to wait to see what the S&P does tomorrow before I make any types of decisions. I don't really see anything that's getting an enormous amount of volume that looks extremely exciting to me as of yet. If you held on to your compound position that we announced on the channel a few weeks ago, you're up about 40%. So yeah, it's a really healthy gain. I think we talked on the channel, taking out around this area, maybe the 180 area, as the first level of resistance. I think if it can break, we can take a look at the chart. I think if it can break, I think it's above $200. It'd be interesting again because there's very little resistance structure, if I remember correctly. So we got in around here in this green zone, so between $100 and $120. If you feel really low on this support, kudos to you. I think I got into mine on about $110. I sold at this first level of resistance, the $146, $147 level, and around there. So I don't see the next layer of resistance until we get to 195 to 217. I think there's nothing wrong with pulling out at this level here, confirming that you get profits, hold on to your profits, make sure that we make clear direction about this resistance. If we can clear it, I'll be a buyer again, and we can ride the wave up to the next resistance zone. And just rinse and repeat. Obviously not financial advice, always do your own research on this type of thing, but this is how I'm looking at the market. This is how I'm seeing it. And I trade different than many, so definitely do your own research. Definitely take a look at the chart yourself. Learn and understand them and have a plan for it going up, plan for it going down, plan for it going sideways. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, I'm holding my bullish bias, if that's fair to say. I'm not really biased. The charts will kind of tell you what direction we're going to travel in. Right now, I'm still bullish until we break this resistance or this support level, and I'll start to get nervous. And if we break this trend line, I'll move to bearish if we close below those. So that's my thoughts on the market. So we'll get to the news portion of it. We'll start off with the 401k. One option will soon come to market. A small player in the 401k provider universe, For Us All is the name of the company, said it'll be launching a cryptocurrency investment option for clients in the second quarter of this year. For Us All, which primarily services small to mid-sized employers, said over 120 to 400 clients to date have signed up for their new option, which will be available to participants through self-directed account on Coinbase. This is great news. Even if people are putting 5% of their 401k into crypto, this is just opening up the market to, a vast population. How many, today dump money into a 401k, we're not really sure where it's going. So if we have even 5% of everyone that's investing into a 401k, and 401ks are everything right now. Granted, this is small and medium businesses, but it's a start. Everybody in a small to medium business that uses For Us All has the ability to put some of their 401k money into crypto. That's big because those are bi-weekly payments into the space. It's great to hear. It's great to see. I think people are going to make out like bandits. One of the best things that I talk on the channel is for a lot of investors, it'd be better to kind of just make your buy options every time you get paid for whatever amount you're comfortable with losing or investing, and then just not paying attention to it. You would have been buying Ethereum when it was down at $190. you'd be buying it now that it's at $3,500. But averaging out, it's just a much smarter way into the market, and statistically, those that invest that way end up doing much better. While there's extreme volatility in the cryptocurrency space and a risk on theft of loss of property, Forrestal believes that the guardrails it's placing around crypto option will comply with ERISA standards and allay the Labor Department's concerns. So, for instance, participants may only invest 5% of their 401k balance and 5% of their contributions going forward, as well as 5% to their employee matches to their own crypto participant. So their own crypto account. So they're each going to have their own account on Coinbase, and the 401k is going to dump money into it. And those that choose can check to see how well it's doing. But as you know, for about 401ks, it's not something people check all the time. And with the volatility in the market, that's probably a good thing. So I'm excited for this. I think this is a good way to get things started. I was excited to see it, so I figured I'd bring it up on the channel. The other cool news article that I found is Wall Street banks. A lot of people are leaving Wall Street. Other top crypto executives who left Wall Street recently expressed some frustrations how long it takes projects to get moving within a large financial institution. Mary Catherine Latter, Chief Operating Officer at Uniswap Labs, left her job as a managing director for BlackRock last year. Her foray into cryptocurrency started as a side project with the asset management company. It certainly wasn't a primary job, Latter said. It was kind of a hobby, as it is for many people on Wall Street. And it definitely wasn't something at the time I was thinking about, because it's such an early stages of adoption. At Uniswap, Latter is now working on the emerging decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. She said she couldn't pass up the opportunity to work on the next wave of innovation. This technology is so critical to the future of finance that I didn't feel like it was a risk at all. I was sad to leave the people I had loved working with for many years, and I have tremendous respect for the firms, but it didn't feel like a risk. That's the great thing about Web3. So, in reading further, yes, they can get things out to market quickly, being small companies, but they just don't have the hold of the market. If Chase releases a new app, instantly markets picked it up times millions of people. If the smaller companies really need to develop something innovative, and sound in order for the market to really start adopting it, their speed to mass market is a slow and steady race, whereas Chase is slow to get the product out, but their mass to market's almost instant. So there's pros and cons to both, but the fact that a lot of the banks are getting involved in the blockchain technology in the cryptocurrency space, I think is very bullish for Bitcoin long term. And then the most bullish article is the one that we've talked about on the channel before. Speculation is rife that Apple's preparing to embrace crypto after various possible hints dropped on Twitter from Jack Mallers, the CEO of Bitcoin Lightning Network payments app Strike. So Jack Mahler is the CEO of Stripe. It's a quick and easy way for crypto payments, and he came out with a picture wearing the old school Apple hat in front of the Chase ATM, flipping it off. And they mentioned that history rhymes, and it shows Steve Jobs doing the same thing to IBM before Apple went ahead and was a fierce competitor, obviously, for IBM. This article goes on to state, speculation is rife that Apple is preparing to embrace crypto after various possible hints dropped from Jack Mallers. And nope, this is not an April Fool's joke. Rumors regarding Apple and cryptocurrencies have circulated before, many times in fact. In terms of corporate adoption of crypto, Apple seems to be the most coveted, judging by various Twitter chatter and YouTube videos over the past couple years. One thing that the cryptoverse has been clinging to is that Apple CEO Tim Cook has spoken positively about crypto in the past, which he has, He's mentioned that he finds it interesting. He actually owns Bitcoin and other assets and thinks it's reasonable to own it as part of a diverse portfolio. Brilliant. And Apple Pay, the company's mobile widget and digital payments app, has also just been integrated with the crypto software wallet MetaMask, enabling the buying of crypto through a third-party service called Wire. So this Strike deal would essentially bring crypto purchasing directly to Apple Pay. No wire in the middle, no intermediary, as far as that's concerned. So, extremely, extremely, extremely bullish. I hope it gets announced this week. It may be if it doesn't, I think we might see some correction because I think some of this has been priced in. But I'm still hopeful. The amount of people that respect what Apple puts into their products alone would be a game changer for the cryptocurrency community. So I'm very hopeful that we do get that type of announcement this week. Outside of that, I'll kind of just be watching Bitcoin do its thing. I'm not going to be suggesting or getting into any alts today. I'm going to wait and see what the S&P opens up with, how the S&P does. Don't judge it based off the opening. Early traders will psych you out for the day. So watch and monitor how the S&P does. I know it's at a resistance level, the S&P as a whole. So I'm waiting to see how Monday plays out before I make my next move. That's obviously not financial advice. That's my theory on it. So we'll see how it plays out. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope you have an even better Monday. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.